In this lesson, we're going to show you how to create a second network so that the Wi-Fi people can all those users can be on their own separate network. This network will be the default router network 88. I'm going to create a 75 network just for these people. We're also going to disconnect their ability to talk to each other. So this will give security between the users on your Wi-Fi and keep the Wi-Fi out of your computers in your home. So let's get started and make this happen. So basically, lesson 21 consists of bridge manipulation for Wi-Fi user isolation. In other words, we're going to use a separate bridge network to isolate the Wi-Fi users from the LAN users. So step 1, wireless Wi-Fi interface. Open WLAN and set SSID. So let's do that. So wireless Wi-Fi interfaces. We're going to open up WLAN 1. We're going to set the SSID to whatever we want it to be, and we're going to select security profile as default. There's only one, and that's the default one. Make sure that WPS is disabled, that's dangerous. And the country is important, whether it's indoor or outdoor. That sets the power levels for the units. And we're also going to uncheck this default forward. This way, Wi-Fi users can't see each other or talk to each other. So we're going to apply those changes. Say OK. Next, we're going to go down here. Step 2, we're going to go to security profiles. We're going to open it up. We want to make sure that we're using WPA2 PSK. And the name of this security profile is the default one created by the Microtech Corporation. And down here you have a pre-shared key. You can make that whatever you want for your Wi-Fi access key. And that's about it. Just make sure the AES is checked. That's the most secure type of ciphers. And make sure only WPA2 is checked. So now we know that our security profile is accurate. Okay, next we want to create a new wireless bridge. So we go to bridge here. Under the bridge tab, and we add a new bridge. New wireless bridge name's Bridge 1 Wi-Fi. So it's going to be Bridge 1 Wi-Fi. And that's all we have to do here. Once again, if you don't like fast forward, you can turn it off right here on this particular bridge, Wi-Fi bridge. So we're going to apply and say OK to that. So we've finished this step. Next, we'll go to the ports tab under bridge, which is right here. Notice WLAN is assigned to bridge. What we're going to do is reassign it to Bridge 1 Wi-Fi. So we double click it, open it up. Interface, we're going to assign it to Bridge 1 Wi-Fi. That choice was available because we created it earlier when we created the bridge, the new bridge name. So apply that and say OK. So now he's assigned to that. Next we go to the interfaces, interface list, interfaces, interface list. We're going to add, after exhaustive negative testing, I've discovered that there's an error in a previous lesson. When I talk about this interface here for the Bridge 1, it can be on the WAN or the LAN, it doesn't matter. The firewall rules are still on it either way, so we'll go ahead and set it on the WAN just for clarity. We'll go to IP addresses. We're going to add a new group of addresses. And notice they want to have the address, so we're going to use 192.68.75.1/24. And the network address will be 192.168.75. 75.0. And the interface will be bridge 1 Wi-Fi. We'll make a comment. New network for Wi-Fi. I should say for LAN 1, that's more specific in case you have more than one Wi-Fi. WLAN 1. Say OK. So now we've created this bridge 1 Wi-Fi network. Next we go to the IP pool to create a pool of user addresses for the Wi-Fi. So IP pool, going to add a new group. We'll give it the name pool Wi-Fi. Very descriptive name, so we know that's the pool for the Wi-Fi users. We've got to put an address range, so let's be selective. We'll go 192.168.75. And here we can be selective. We will go from 10 to 25. 10 through 192.168.75.25. This gives us a listing of 16 Wi-Fi addresses. We don't expect more than 16 users in a home environment. So we'll limit it down to that. So we can comment on this pool also. Wi-Fi user addresses. Okay, and the none stays none. I don't know what it does. We don't use it. So we say, okay, so now we've created our IP pool for the Wi-Fi users. Next, we have to have a DHCP server for the Wi-Fi users. So we go to IP DHCP servers. Now we need to add a DHCP server for the Wi-Fi. So we're going to come down here and we're going to add a new server. We're going to call it what we said over here, DHCP wireless. DHCP wireless. And we're going to assign it here to bridge 1 Wi-Fi for the interface. So the interface bridge 1 Wi-Fi. And the pool is going to be pool Wi-Fi. And we're finished with that section. So now we see, okay, now we have a new DHCP wireless server. Now we have to click on networks, which is down into networks. I'm going to add a network. And the address will be the range right here. And the slice 24 eliminates the need for a net mask down here at the bottom. For the gateway, we're going to use the bridge 1 Wi-Fi gateway because that's part of that network. Copy that, paste it in. And down here for DNS servers, remember we had a DOH server, which was a secure DNS server on our 88 network. So we're going to continue to use that. So we're just going to assign our DNS servers to the other network on this router, and it'll use the secure DNS servers. So we're going to go ahead and put this in. This is unusual. It's not part of that network. Copy that. DNS servers. We'll paste it in here. So now he's using the secure DNS server on network 88. And NTP servers also. We have an NTP server, time server, running on 88. So why don't we just use that? So we'll copy that. Come over here on our time server, NTP servers. Paste. So that way it's not using its own DNS servers. It's not using its own NTP servers on this network. So now we've configured the network. We need to add a comment. this network, Wi-Fi users network. So in the future we know what that means. So now we've created a new network. We have the original network, the default configuration network, and we have this new Wi-Fi users network. Okay, next we're going to create these two rules. Right here, these two firewall rules, and I've already done it over here, rule 3 and rule 4. So let's review them to see what I did. So the rule number 3 is forward advanced Wi-Fi user source address, client's destination address, then it's going to drop it, so it won't allow it. And same way with rule number 4, going the other direction. Forward, if the client's trying to talk to a Wi-Fi user, that doesn't work either. So he can't get corrupted from the Wi-Fi user. So no extras, the action is dropped. So that's those two rules that are now in place. In addition to those two rules, we need this address list up here. Notice I have an address list Wi-Fi user and our address list clients. We need to create both of those, so let's just take a look at them. So the clients run from 88.10 up to 88.254, which is basically the LAN connected users. And the Wi-Fi users, our address is 75.10 through 75.25, so it's on a separate network. So we use these two addresses, like we said, in these two rules right here. You can see the addresses right here. So that basically locks out the Wi-Fi users from the LAN users and the LAN users from the Wi-Fi users. And that was our original goal when we started this project. We can take a look at this graphically, and you can see that we don't have this connection, and these guys are broken right here. This whole group cannot see any of these people down here because of our firewall rules. This address list group can't talk to this address list group and vice versa. So we've achieved our goal. We now have Wi-Fi users isolated from LAN users, and we also have Wi-Fi users isolated from each other, which we've done earlier under the network settings. So that concludes this lesson. Okay, at this time we're connected to the Wi-Fi system with this Linux computer, and we're going to go over here and access the internet. And what we're going to do is go to our bookmarks. Remember our old 111. Sure enough, we have our DOH still working for our secure DNS, which is on network 88, while this computer's running on network 75. So we proved that we can, in fact, use what we created here, this new network, on a new bridge. So this concludes this lesson on how to add a new bridge to isolate one group of users from another group of users.